Hello and welcome to a slightly unusual video because today I will present to you all of the stamps and twists that are part of the Dominion campaigns. Well, the Dominion campaigns are a new feature that has just been introduced, and unfortunately there are still some bugs occurring throughout the campaigns, but I'm sure the Templegates games team will be on their on the outlook to fix them, and already a bunch of bugs have been fixed, and crashes are occurring less and less. And I'm super pumped to play these campaigns. Before getting into the effects of the stamps and twists, I will briefly outline what the campaigns are. The campaigns are a new mode that comes for all of the 16 expansions except for the base game. There is one campaign per expansion with 10 kingdoms where you move around from um, basically from spot to spot and get to beat the AI on each of them. And the colors here indicate which level of the AI you beat on each step. And the star, I think, will just mean whether you beat it on the first try. And yes, currently you can only play one campaign at once. So you can, for example, play the intrigue campaign, finish it, and upon completion you will get a check mark based on the minimum AI level you beat all of the kingdoms in. But you cannot switch to the plunder campaign. But I'm sure this will be also changed in the future. Um, and campaigns for each of those expansions will start out with a normal kingdom of that expansion and then slowly introduce more stamps and twists over the course of each level. I personally haven't really gotten to play them yet, as my game kept crashing a bunch, but I've been on it together with the developer to improve that. We've been testing a few things, and it should soon be fixed. Um, yes, there's also the Grand campaign, which will mix up any of the effects from any of the expansions, and the effects will also appear on Sunday on the Sunday daily. And there are two types of effects. One is a stamp, and the other one is a twist. Stamps are effects that affect cards or landscapes. So there can be effects that the stamps can be effects that, I don't know, make a card cheaper, make a card come with another card. We'll get into that soon. Or modify events in a way that they come for free or come with whenever you buy a province. We'll see to that. And there are twists which will modify the game in some fundamental way. And those are loosely based on the expansions, but I could not. I found all of the effects and that are going to be in the game, but I could not yet confirm which expansion they belong to. So the expansion I put them with is usually the one I just thought it would be with. So let's get into going through all of the stamps and twists one by one. And just a disclaimer, I've gotten these texts from the translation sheet from the Templegates Games app, as I'm helping with the translations there. But I've asked the dev whether it's okay to share them, and apparently it is. So yeah, here's the first stamp. And please excuse these poor plots. I've just thrown them together very, very quickly to to somewhat make sense of them. And they are sorted alphabetically. and not an appearance of expansion or whatever. So the first stamp you're looking at currently is -2 cost, and this one is a stamp that goes onto an event and will cause the event to cost 2 money less. I think my program of plotting this ate the dollar sign there somehow, but yeah, this one will be interesting and might make events that are already strong even stronger. Imagine this on a traveling fair where you can get endless buys for free. This would just be insane, being able to pile out coppers. But for example, it will also be strong on a stampede or basically any event, I think. Um, and yeah, will be fun to play around with. I've put this with the Adventures expansion um, as it might come with this, but it might also be part of the Empires one or the Plunder one, or it might also just be a thing that comes up whenever there are events in an expansion. So I'm not sure how this works yet. All right, let's get to the next stamp. This one is the equivalent one clearly from the Empires expansion or even the Rising Sun expansion. And this will make an event cost 2 that less. Well, not much to say about this. So let's get to the next one. 2 times VP. This is a stamp that will affect the landmark and will make it worth double VP. I don't know whether this will affect the landmarks where you get 2 VP chips for example, with Arena, where you discard a card, an action card at the beginning of your buy phase to get 2 victory points from it. Whether you'll get 4 for this action and you'll put double the amount on them, or whether it will just apply to the ones that scale or that give you victory points for victory chips for certain actions, such as Tomb, which will give you victory chips for each trashed card, or yeah, But I will be eager to find out how this plays out. Um, and also, for example, if it comes with wall or any of the other negative landmarks, whether it will mean that double VP are deducted for each card you have in your deck, for example. Yeah, very interesting. Next one. Also that this one is a stamp that goes on a prophecy from Rising Sun, and this means that when a prophecy occurs, when a prophecy is triggered by 5 sun tokens being deducted, each player will get 5 debt. And yeah, this will make some prophecies quite annoying, especially for the player activating them. But it will also, make you reevaluate how worth it is to activate a prophecy. But of course, with omens like Mountain Shrine and no other good trashing, you will go for them anyways. And also, you'll slow down the other players, of course. So on your turn, you might profit even from being able to deal with the 5 debt in a better way. The next one is one that also goes on a prophecy, and each player gains 3 gold when this prophecy occurs. And now here we have the first effect that will only be possible in the online implementation, as the 3 gold each player will gain will not come from the pile, but instead just from the cyberspace. And this is kind of like a windfall effect, 3 gold at once, junking your deck, maybe improving your deck. And might also be super important if you can activate this prophecy on your turn and already um, make use of these 3 golds immediately. Next one. also Plague. So the prophecy modifiers, the prophecy stamps all have this also prefix. This is another negative one where each player gains 3 curses, and they won't be able to not gain them, even if the curses are already out. They are gained not from the pile, so yes. This will be quite annoying. But if it's your turn, you might be able to set something up to deal with these curses, like having a watchtower in hand. So you might use this to your advantage. The next one is also respect. Here, each player gets victory points equal to their current victory points. And those plus VP come in the form of VP chips. This stamp we played with today during the daily challenge. And this one is, yeah, quite powerful, actually more impactful than I at first thought, as I thought this VP referred to the VP chips, or I wasn't sure about this, but it actually just refers to the current amount of victory points you're holding. So if you have a province in deck and an estate, so 7 victory points at the time the prophecy triggers, you will get 7 extra victory points in the form of VP chips. Very, very interesting, and might justify some victory point rushes, actually. Next one. Also silver. Now this one is a stamp that also has the also prefix, but apparently it doesn't mean that it only comes with a prophecy, but here it comes with an event. This stamp means that when you buy this event, you also gain a silver, which might be nice or might not be nice. But for example, if you have this on donate on turn 1, you can just donate without, on turn 1 while gaining a silver. So being 1 turn faster. But I mean, I guess there are more useful effects than this for the extra silver. Next one. Bonus money. You get plus $1 when buying this event. This is somewhat similar to the one where an event costs 2 less, but of course you might be able to exploit this in some ways, and in some other ways that you couldn't exploit the -2 event. For example, if this is on alms or for example on save, you would buy save every turn because it's +1 free money. Also, it makes traveling fare 1 cheaper essentially, and all of the events that give you plus buy, like deliver or pursue, all of those will be $1 cheaper. Actually, I lied. I forgot that save costs 1 and not 0. So, but in that case, save will be free for you to buy. This one is also one of those event stamps that could come out of any of the event-heavy expansions. Next one. Chameleonized. This one refers to Way of the Chameleon, which lets you turn your dollar into plus cards and vice versa. This will affect only 1 card, I think, which, for example, you might have a chameleonized festival, which will basically be a lab with +2 actions and +1 buy. So a lost city with a plus buy. Which is already super strong with Way of the Chameleon, because there you can choose. Here it will be a permanent effect on that card. And I put it towards Menagerie, but it could be, of course, off any of the expansions. Next one, Discounted. This costs 1 less, so now we can have a cheap discounted card, for example, costing 2 less. yeah, very simple, very nice. I put it toward the base expansion, but it could be of any of those. Next one, Durationified. This one will affect the card and may turn it into a duration card. And that means that the card it is on will be a duration with, at the start of your next turn, you also get +1 card and +1 action. I wonder whether this can only go on pure action cards or on pure treasure, even on pure treasures, and not any cards that are already a duration, as this would be a bit confusing. But I'll have to test this out. This will, yeah, make the card that is affected super strong. Usually, unless you want, yeah, it is on a card that you want to play every turn. But for example, it would turn a village into a village this turn and a village plus an extra card next turn. So yeah, very, very strong. I'll assume in turn in games with these, you will gain um, the Durationified cards a lot. Next one, Fawning Service. This one I put towards the Plunder expansion because of the reference to the trait Fawning. You will automatically buy this event, so this affects an event again, for free when gaining a province. And you have no choice on this. So this is, yeah, interesting in that it will force you to buy an event. Sometimes that won't have any impact, but sometimes this might be strong or even annoying. For example, if it comes with commerce, gaining you golds, um, this might be like might function like horde actually. Um, I don't any other events I can think of right now. Um, maybe dominate, for example. That would be crazy. I wonder if this would mean that you would just wow. No, this would be insane. Dominate games would be over. The turn that the first player would hit a hit province because you would just perpetually gain all of the provinces, getting a bunch of victory points with the province and empty them. This would be super stupid. Um, yeah, but it will also be, I think, a very nice fawning service coming with expedition or any plus buy giving event, giving you an extra buy. Very, very nice and I suspect mostly pleasant effect. Next one. Free. This event costs 0. I already am interested in dominate rushes where you have free events or free delivers, free looting. Any strong event that has a cost for a reason will just be immediately super broken. I think in the curated campaigns it won't affect that many broken events like this, but in the grand campaign where anything can happen, I don't know, are there restrictions? Maybe, maybe not. Are there going to be dominate turn one rushes? Um, yeah, very interesting. Some events, of course, it won't really affect. For example, alms, which is already free, or desperation, or some stuff like this. Yeah, but very interesting stamp. Got it already. Next one. This one is bought for free on the first turn. I wonder if it's bought at the beginning of the buy phase or at the beginning of the action phase on the first turn. But this might be nice. Might also be junking you if you have something like something like desperation. But also very pleasant and interesting. Will speed up the game a lot. Next one. Motivational. This one means that uh, essentially you'll get +2 cards at the end of your turn. whenever you buy this card. And this will turn every event into a variant of expedition, and expedition into a double expedition. Very fun, very fun. I think I like that. Offers Insight is now a stamp that I suppose goes onto a card. When you gain this, plus one card at the end of your turn. Yeah, not much to say about this. Pretty pleasant. Next one. One Track Mind. Automatically buy this event for free at the start of each buy phase. Another really interesting one, whereas the one that turned the event into a zero cost one didn't restrict you on buying it a bunch of times. This one now, yeah, will automatically will automatically buy it for you, and won't charge you anything for it. But this would, I don't know. For example, in tax games, this might lead to some ridiculous inflation scenario. In Salt the Earth games, this will speed the game up a lot. In Receive Tribute games, well, you will buy Receive Tribute and mostly not gain anything. But whenever you have gainers that gain you more than 3 cards before that, more than 2 cards before that, you'll gain a bunch of actions that you might not even want. Very interesting. Very interesting. Also, it might be interesting in games with raid, where you raid each other each turn and just gain a bunch of silvers if one of you makes the mistake of getting a silver first. Yeah, fun. Next one. Pay later. This one is a stamp that goes onto a card, and this card's cost becomes debt. So you can just buy a Prince turn 1, well, pay off the debt, and then be very surprised when you see the Prince turn 3 with no card to put with it. But yeah, for example, um, this, yeah, might be nice, might also be annoying for some scenarios. If you would like to remodel into a card, you cannot do that anymore unless you'll have another debt card that costs exactly the same amount of debt. But mostly it might be interesting. Next one. Perks of Wealth. When you gain a gold, do this event. So this one will be Jane Else's favorite because it will justify a gold gain. And even, I mean, you don't have to buy it, I guess. You can still gain it via Bandit, or um, what else gains you gold? Uh, I actually wonder if a if this Perks of Wealth on an event like Reap, which will gain you a gold, would loop and just deplete the gold pile completely. Might be very stupid. But also this might be really stupid with stuff like Populate or Dominate. Again, yeah, the usual suspects of super strong events. Very, very nice. And I'm just now thinking back to the event, to the Fawning one, which will trigger during each province gain. That might be also annoying with Maelstrom. Anyways, I'm brabbling. Let's get to the next one. Plus action. Plus one action when you play a card using this way. So this one is a stamp that goes onto a way, gets attached to one and enhances it. And for example, with Way of the Pig, this will turn all of your action cards into a proper village. And with, yeah, well, it's, I think, fairly likely that the card you're playing as a Way will afterwards be a village. Um, there are lots of ways that give you plus action. But yeah, might be very nice. Also, notable ways here are terminal ways that are a little annoying sometimes, like Way of the Butterfly, and most notably Way of the Turtle, because Way of the Turtle means that you will get to play the card that you set aside at the beginning of each turn and can also then choose to replay it as Way of the Turtle. This is already strong with the Adventures tokens, but well, if this stamp is active, it will be viable from turn 1. Next one, plus buy. When you play a card from this pile, you get plus buy. Easy as that. The Seaway effect onto a card from the beginning of the game. Next one, the plus card token now onto a card from the beginning of the game. Might be interesting if it's on a weaker card, might be super broken if it's on a stronger card. For example, imagine this with experiments. Super labs from turn 1, essentially. Next one. Plus coin. Plus $1 when you play a card using this way. Again, this might turn each of your cards into a key with Way of the Turtle, because you can just turtle the card and never free it from the turtle zone and get plus $1 each time you play it and just leave it there. And yeah, not much else that's interesting happening with that one. But it will, for example, turn Way of the Sheep into a way that will give you 3 money at once, or Way of the Monkey will turn every card into a proper woodcutter. Quite nice, quite pleasant. Next one. Reactionified. And this one looks crazy. This one turns a card into a reaction that has the same reaction things that Trail also have it. Also has. Gosh, my English at this time of the day is kind of bad, I'm sorry. But yeah, imagine this on a laboratory even. Imagine this on any card that also discards, because it will be able to discard its copies and then you can chain them. Yeah, this looks crazy. And any trash for benefit card, any expensive cards that you would like to trash. Um, yes, very nice. Next one. Second cube. This one is a stamp that affects a project and will mean that you can place a second cube on it for double the effect. Quite nice, quite nice. I think this will play out interestingly with events that are strong, like with projects that are strong, like Sinister Plot, or let me think, even Fleet having 2 turns at the end of the game, or Canal being able to make each card costs 2 less. Crop rotation, going through cards, through your victory cards very quickly, making use of a very solid money strategy. Double innovation, 2 cards per turn that you can play. Double citadel, double cathedral if you like to live the risky life. Very fun. Next one. Shadowified. This one had already been teased. There is a thing. There is a campaign level where you apparently have a Shadowified diplomat. So whenever you shuffle, this card that the stamp is on will wander to the bottom of your deck, and then you can play it as if it is in your hand, like Ninja or Alley, those nice shadow cards we all know and love. And this one, might make for crazy combos with strong cards like Throne Room, or even Laboratory turns into a Super Lab. Yeah, I'm not getting into many more details because I could list loads of crazy cards. It might also be just a convenience thing, like on any duration card that you will want to play very often on any like Prince or Wharf, and it will lead to nice, reliable decks. Next one, Treasurified. This is also a treasure. So this one I think will only go on action cards, and will have it have the capitalism effect. But this also affects cards that do not have plus money. So it will affect some new cards. We'll see Treasurified. What would be interesting? I think from Plunder, having Mining Road Treasurified would be fun because you could then use that to buy more mining roads, um, and play them immediately. And yeah, what else? Yeah, Black Market Treasurified is also always fun because you can play black markets during your black market phase. Um, like black market phase, that is not even a phase, but during the window where you play the treasures for black market. Yes, interesting. Next one, 2 for 1. This one costs $1 more, 1 coin more, and comes with a second copy that is not from the pile. And this means that you will basically, in games where you can return cards to the supply in some way, with Way of the Horse, for example, or Way of the Butterfly, you'll have an endless supply of cards and can stack up piles to endless amounts, which is kind of funny to think about. But imagine this on experiments again. Like they will cost 4, of course, a little more, but it would be double the effect. And the experiment pile will fill up over time as you will get more and more cards from the cyberspace, or have this on rats, which would also be really risky gaining the first rats, I think. I wouldn't usually advise that. Fun stuff, fun stuff. Next one. Victorified. This is also a victory card worth one victory point. Very simple, very nice. Turning yeah, basically a card into a lesser version of Obelisk, the landmark Obelisk. Next one. I think there's not much to say. I mean, I put it with the intrigue sign because it's obviously um, builds into the intrigue alternate victory theme. Next one. With horse. When you gain this, gain a horse. Super simple, super nice. Basically the experiment effect, but on any card you want to have. Any card that you gain, or it could also be attributed to the groom effect, whatever. That's maybe more on theme. Yeah, we'll make the first gain of this card draw neutral, basically. Next one, with spoils. This one will allow you to gain a spoils with the card. Super simple. Spoils is a Dark Ages card, so I expect this to be in the Dark Ages campaign. Next one. With Villager. Well, this will give you the Academy effect, but just for copies of this card. Yeah, very nice, very nice. Oh well, I'm at the end. So this is kind of surprising, but we are at the end of the stamps with Villager. So now we'll get to the twists that won't be connected with any cards anymore, but will have some weird effect on the game in general. All right, let's get into them. Beakers is the first one we'll look into, and this one is from the Alchemy expansion. And this one will make your potion resource stay until it's used. I think this is a common suggestion in fan card forums that that to improve alchemy, you should somehow make it so you don't have too much of a sad time with your potions. We all know the experience of opening potion on a familiar board where it's centralizing, only hitting 2 and potion, and the opponent will just destroying us with their familiar. I mean, it's not that common, but it could happen. And this would let you play the potion and keep the potion resource, I think, until you need it. Very nice, very nice. Even if you draw the potion with 4 coppers and you just want to buy a scrying pool, you could delay buying that scrying pool for the next turn when you know you will only hit 2 and use the 4 for something more productive. Very nice, very convenient. I like it. The next one is big ideas. And this one will mean at the start of your turn, you will get +1 card. And yeah, simple as that. You'll only have the 5 cards in hand as usual, but we'll get to draw an extra card. So in games with Militia, you'll still get to start the turn with 4 cards after having discarded to 3. This is nicer than, I think in many ways it's nicer than having a 6-card hand, especially because of those discard attacks. And sometimes it might also be nice if you have start of turn effects where you get to gain a card on top of your deck and you can immediately draw it with, for example, how's it called? The Crafters Guild and stuff that's like that. Yeah, pretty pleasant. Should speed up games a lot, I think. Busy Busy is the next one, and that one will be basically a how's it called in English? I'm sorry. Uh, the project that gives you plus action. Barracks, yes. Just looked it up. This will give you the barracks effect for the whole game. Super strong, nice village effect, but also not too much to say about it, I think. Next one, Cramped. This one is the opposite of the card, of the effect, of the twist we had a few bits earlier, where you draw a card at the start of your turn. Here you just get 4 cards instead of 5 for each of your hands. So basically a permanent borrowing activated. I wonder if you can combine those twists. So if you had this twist Cramped in conjunction with the big ideas twist, you might end up playing much of the same game, but not seeing one of the cards. This might even be an advantage in the face of discard attacks. But yeah, fun to think about, and will slow games down for sure. Next one, debt bargains. When you get debt, you may discard cards to pay it off. And this is not ID per card, but 1 debt per card. I think the font I'm using, the XKCD font, has the 1 without the little thing up top. And yeah, this is quite pleasant. That means that if you have excess cards in hand and buy debt cards, you can immediately pay off some by discarding them, especially on the first turns. This will mean, for example, if you want to open Mountain Shrine with any hand, even a 5/2, you can just buy the 5 cost properly, and then on the second turn, just discard 5 cards to pay off the 5 debt and be debtless for the second shuffle. Or is it the first shuffle? I always get confused. Anyways, next one. Debt Fund. This one gives you $1 free debt payment during each of our turns. Yeah, $1. I'm always saying dollar, I'm sorry. 1 coin, of course. This one will mean that you can pay off debt very nicely, and it will be an advantage to buy more expensive debt cards because you get to pay off some of that. yeah, we'll make the stuff costing that just a little stronger. Quite nice. Next one. Delayed Joy. This one also came up in today's daily challenge. All boons will be saved for can be saved for next turn. So for each boon you now get to choose, like with the how's it called? The Blessed Village effect, when you get the boon and can decide whether you want to receive it on this turn or next turn. You can save it. And this one is also one of those that is only available online, I think, because the boons still get shuffled afterwards, if I remember correctly. Next one. Double Up. Now this one is a powerful effect, and this one would also not work offline and with a physical game. The first time you gain an action treasure each turn, you will gain a non-supply copy of it out of the cyberspace coming to your deck. Yeah, very powerful. It will also mean that your opening buys will be much more important, as they are going to be doubled. And will make loads of stuff just stronger if it just comes in pairs of 2. Very nice. Next one. Extra Oomph is the effect that gives you the key effect from the beginning of the game. So you'll basically start with a key that cannot be taken from you, plus $1 at the start of each of your turns. Very strong. Next one is Fast Track. When you gain a duration or reserve card, set it aside and play it at the start of the next cleanup. What does this mean? That means that you have the hasty effect on any duration and reserve card. I think this will play out crazy in Plunder Kingdoms or Adventures Kingdoms that are really duration heavy. If you always get to set all of them aside and play them at the start of the next turn. No, actually, I blanked there. It clearly says next cleanup, not the start of your next turn. Sorry, this is not the hasty effect. This is the fast track effect of immediately playing the duration card during your turn. Gosh, I should learn to read and think, actually. But yeah, this still sounds incredibly strong on duration turns. Basically a free innovation for each duration. And reserve. Next one. Favored Landlords. This is an allies twist, which will mean that when you gain a victory card, you will also get +1 favor. So super nice in games with victory cards that are also useful, with mill or with yeah, I can't really think of any cheap nice victory card, but for example, nobles or even farm might be more viable if you get a favor whenever you gain it. Quite nice, but also with the provinces, it might sustain some strategies by enabling you to draw. And I wonder if with strong allies like the plus turn one, the island folk, whether it will be worth to green earlier just to get those extra turns in. It will certainly make the end game quite interesting. Next one. Favored Wealthy. Whenever you gain a treasure, +1 favor. This will be very nice. It might enable or improve strategies that have some buys available in any case, and then you can just buy a copper for a favor if that's what you need, what your deck needs. Usually that will be a very bad trade, but any kingdom treasures and of course any silver gainers and gold gainers might yeah, really profit from that one. Next one. Forever Favored. at the start of each of your turns plus 1 favor. Well, this might accelerate some games. In addition to your starting favor, accumulating favors will be quite nice, but also not much to say about this. It will completely turn off Band of Pickpockets. Is that the name? Is it called a band, or let me look it up very quickly. All right, I looked it up. Of course, it's called the Gang of Pickpockets and not the band. But let's get to the next one. You still might want to activate them, by the way, if it's favorable to discard cards at the start of your turn. Next one. From the Throne. The first action you play each turn is played twice, and that means you get the Citadel effect, the project, for free. Very simple. Strong. Super strong. Next one. Garbage Heap. At the start of your turn, you may trash a card from your hand. Again, I don't know how many times today I said the word super strong, but this one undeniably is super strong. As you'll turn 1, you'll be able to start trashing your starting estates and be on and on your way to a very thin deck at turn, I don't know, even turn 4, you will already have only 6 coppers remaining of your starting cards. Very, very nice. Very, very strong. Next one. At start. This one capitalizes on the fact that you will always play against the AI. And this one means that you as a human get 2 extra turns at the start, but the AI gets 10 victory tokens. And yeah, that will mean you will have to fight against a somewhat steep advantage of the AI, but the 2 turns usually should be able to make up for that. Just being ahead in the opening, you will be able to deploy your attacks faster than the AI ever will, and the thing you will need to be very cognizant about in these games are 3-pile endings, as you cannot just gain an estate at the end to get ahead in points, but you need to overcome those 10 VP that the AI is in the lead. Next one. Incoming. Actions and treasures are top decked when gained, not optional. This one is similar to the prophecy progress, and here, whenever you gain actions and or treasures, you need to top deck them. It's different from progress in a way, as progress will require you to top deck anything you gain, whereas here you will mostly top deck the cards you want to top deck, like actions. This might accelerate your deck a lot, especially if you can top deck good cards, strong treasures on turn 1. We all know how strong a Sentinel opening is with Trapper's Lodge. So yes, quite the banger, let's say. And let me repeat my favorite phrase from today's video: super strong. Landfill. When you trash one of your cards, you get +1 card. Convenient. Not much else to say, but it will play super nice with any kind of trasher, as they're usually designed in a way that one of the downsides is that you'll decrease your hand size if you trash a card. It will accelerate strategies that make use of remodels, of remodel variants, and also make stuff like cathedrals super strong. There it was, the favorite word combination. Let's go. Next one. Merloot. all loots are the same. And I think Donald X talked about this in the teasers for the campaign mode. This will be randomized for each game. So you might have one game where all the loots are going to be endless chalices, or all the loots are going to be shields, swords, hammers, you name it, spell scrolls. Yes, not much to say about this one, except for, well, this would be quite expensive to set up in real life. 15 copies of plunder, anyone? Let's go. Next one. Pennies Saved. At the end of your buy phase, convert your coinage into coffers. That's basically Pagent, but for free and much more effective. And this will also mean that in the opening you will be able to open with any card costing up to 7 essentially, but you can turn any opening into a 2/5 because you can just buy a 2-cost card at the beginning and then use the rest of your money for coffers. And also you'll be able to open 6-cost cards on turn 2. Or 7-cost cards. I don't know. Ever wanted to open Forge? Here you go. Next one. Penny Party. At the start of your turn, gain a copper. This is bureaucracy all over again. Junky decks galore. Quite annoying. I am very interested to see how this plays. Imagine this with bureaucracy active as well. Gaining a copper at the start of your turn and a copper for each card you gain. Well, that might be very intense. And this will also make Watchtower very strong. A very viable card to not get outjunked, but even a single Watchtower will not be able to help you completely survive the Cop Apocalypse. I'm way too tired to record this, and it's getting late. Sorry for this awful amalgamation. Next one. Real estate barons. You can use VP tokens as coffers. This one I was confused about, and maybe I just missed something, but is there any expansion that has both VP tokens as well as coffers? Let me know in the comments. I just cannot be bothered to think about it right now. I placed it with prosperity as that'd be quite thematic. But prosperity doesn't have any coffers, I think. Does it? Well, next one. Rebates. When you gain a card, plus $1. So this is very similar to the stamp we had earlier, where there was an event that would give you plus $1 whenever you bought it. Now, this one, of course, is much stronger, as it will turn each workshop into a thing giving you plus $1. It will turn the remodelers into stronger stuff and might be pleasant all around. Next one. Room for more. Add a kingdom card pile to the supply. Well, we didn't have enough extra pile stuff before, so here's yet another one. Now you can have an official 13-card kingdom, but only in this interesting campaign setting. So how does the 13-card kingdom work? Would work by adding an extra pile through Young Witch, through the Bane pile, and one extra attack card pile through through approaching army, and then one through this twist. Next one. Sale. Cards cost 1 less. Basically, Canal already activated on turn 1. Very strong. Super strong. Cannot stress it enough. Many of those twists have the feeling of being very strong. Next one. Shoppers. At the start of your turn, +1 buy. Well, nice. Fair, I'd guess. Let's get to the next one. So much stuff. Gain a non-supply copy of the first card you play each turn. Wow, this one will be annoying for the first few turns whenever you play your starting coppers, but will be super strong if you manage to play, I don't know, experiments at the start of your turn. Villages in general, they will pile very quickly. And them being non-supply also means that you can accumulate endless amounts of copies somewhere from the cyberspace. Next one. Turn, turn, turn. Let's go. At the start of the human's turn, after the first, all split piles are rotated. I presume this comes with allies, but it might also come with empires. And, well, this just means that whatever you do, you will get access to other cards in split piles, such as Warlord or Voyage, without having to do anything. And also this means, since this is always at the start of the human's turn, this means that you will always be the one getting the access first. Nice. I don't know about super strong, but nice. Next one. Typhoon. This one is crazy. This one will nuke out any pile at the start of the human's turn and replace it by a new pile. And while this one might be set upable in real life, you would, after turn 5, you would get very, very annoyed by going back and forth between your Dominion box and replacing, getting out a pile, putting back a pile. But yes, this one might mean that that the game will most likely end on provinces. Actually, does that mean replaces a pile? Does that mean the province pile can be replaced, or is it only supply piles? What? I just imagine you're just about to buy the last province and suddenly, boom, the provinces don't exist anymore, and you need to somehow empty 3 piles while they always replenish it themselves by being replaced. This might be very, very interesting and funny, but I would just presume that those are just supply piles or action treasure piles. Very, very interesting, and yeah, there might be strong stuff coming in. There might be strong stuff getting out of reach. Yeah, looks like a super fun twist. And also super strong, of course. You know it. Next one. Where is my mouse? Oh, I think my mouse is there and I pressed the correct button. But we are at the end. Wow. Yes. So those were all of the stems and twists. I hope I gave you a nice overview and I didn't ramble all too much, but I liked to voice some opinions, some fun things that came to mind. I hope you enjoyed that. If you didn't, I hope you just skipped through and just read the things and still got something from this video. But yeah, it's turning very long, almost an hour. So let me wrap it up here and enjoy playing the campaigns. Goodbye.